Are you ready to increase your retention and revenue and convert website traffic to clients? Then you're ready for Maya. Maya is a marketing and client recruitment software. Maya creates better business relationships by pairing the right clients with the right beauty professionals. How do we do it? A matchmaker. Your brand will have its own unique matchmaking survey. By pairing people based on their skill set, budget, personality, and lifestyle preferences, Maya creates lasting relationships that keep both sides coming back for more. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. Pair the right clients with the right beauty pros the first time. Visit joinmaya.com to get started.
Thank you for joining me. This is Kati Whitledge with the Beyond the Technique podcast. If you're listening today, I want you to know you can always watch Beyond the Technique podcast videos on our YouTube channel. You go to YouTube, search for Beyond the Technique. You can watch them there, see the faces behind the names. We have the link right in our show notes for you to watch today's episode. We are talking about the stages of pain and processing when someone exits your business unethically and unexpectedly. So I'm just going to share that I am your guest speaker today. And many of you know that in addition to being the founder of Maya, which is a client recruitment and marketing software for the beauty and wellness industry, Maya powers is what powers Beyond the Technique podcast. So if you go to joinmaya.com, you're going to see all the podcasts we've ever done and be able to search by topics. You're going to also see a lot of business resources and events. My mission is to always support you in your growth and give you what you actually need. And I think there's been a lot of conversation lately about, oh, did you know that non-competes are going away? Well, that might be true. It hasn't gone away yet. But if you don't have an employee agreement in place, you are putting yourself into kind of a vulnerable situation. Uh, because every corporation, whether you work for Google, Facebook, a hospital, you are signing agreements. Many agreements include non-disclosure. Uh, there are agreements in place that help you avoid conflict of interest. If I work for a software company, I can't go copy the code of that software, repackage it, and launch it as my own. That would be unethical and against my employee agreement. So it is not unreasonable for salon owners to have employee agreements in place to really protect their assets. We are one of the very few types of business models where if a team member, specifically a provider, service provider, leaves our business, we lose revenue. That doesn't happen in typical corporate America. So, for example, I brought up Google. If I work for Google and I exit the company, I don't take Google clients and Google revenue with me. That is not how it typically happens. So Google's going to potentially lose this great resource, great team member. They don't lose clients, customers, or revenue. And that is the same for many, many businesses. Most businesses that model aren't tied to your provider having a special skill set, which makes it, as we all kind of would agree, a more challenging role to hire for. Like we're not a McDonald's where you don't need somebody to have any special skill set. Like if you're going to be in a salon, spa, med spa, or barbershop, your providers have special skill sets that they need licenses for. Um, so being in this business model in this industry, it comes with unique challenges, and that is one of them. So to have some parameters in place, legal parameters that protect you, I think are really important. We're also going to just talk about mitigating your risks as much as possible because you go through these stages of pain and time to process when someone exits your business unethically or unexpectedly. And I'm no stranger to this happening. We had a former employee exit our business in a very unethical way, unwilling to speak with me as a leader. I had, and as leaders, we truly probably believe, like, gosh, I gave them everything, like reasonable. Like there's nothing unreasonable I said no to. And after 5 years of showing them favor, providing absolutely everything for them, how could they exit and not even be willing to talk to me? That leads us to our first stage of the pain and processing, which is stage number one, hurt. And it's interesting because when you look at the stages of grief, this actually looks different than that. Um, this is a little bit different. The first stage is often hurt. You tend to wonder as a leader, did I do something wrong? Why would they do this? And how could they do this when, and you start thinking of all the things that you've done to literally sow into their lives? It's interesting talking with our salon leaders. It's hard not to take things personally. And we're told by many people on social media that we shouldn't, but it's hard to take things, not take it personally when you personally invest your heart and soul into people, whether they see that or not, in your heart what you do. This team member, unlike others in the past, actually downloaded client data from our salon software and uploaded that data into their own software and marketing programs, soliciting clients from the salon to come to them, took it a step further and actually put them in appointments that the client did not say, oh yeah, the client never opted in to being a part of any other software. So the consumer entrusts their information to the business. They say, yeah, here's my name, phone number, email, everything, all my history of everything. I'm entrusting you, the business, even our credit card information to reserve an appointment. I'm trusting you to have that in your business software. I'm not opting in to have that taken out and added to anybody else's system. That's a very, very serious and very unethical practice for somebody to do. And it's technically illegal. So that was something I had never experienced before. In addition to that, it was confusing. We had customers saying, I don't know, I'm getting like these notifications from this other salon and I don't know about that. I'm trying to come in with you. This particular former employee also sent out an email letting everybody know that they snuck around to do this miraculous, amazing thing. Look at them. How incredible are they that they opened their own business? And they really wanted to be looked at as like have people in awe of them. And then forgot to blind copy everybody on that email. So every single consumer that was added to that email list saw each other's emails. Just an unreal practice, right? This is not professional business at work. So hurt moves very quickly to the next stage of pain and processing into the stage of anger, where what they did was wrong. You feel used, lied to, taken advantage of. And when you come to find out, and many owners have been in this situation when somebody exits unethically, wow, you've been lied to for a long time, and your entire team's been lied to. But here's the thing: the anger will increase like times 10 when you also realize and see that others that are current team members are looking up to this person. Like, wow, that's the goal I have someday. I want to be like them. Especially because you knew or know that the way they exited was so wildly out of line. And here you are having to just absorb that truth and understanding and not conflict the feelings of others. In other words, I never would want to be to my current staff like, please don't look up to this person. What they did was unbelievably wrong, disrespectful, and so far away from what would ever be accepted in corporate America. You can't do that as a salon owner. You have to love and respect your team and what they believe and the way they view things, their perspective, because their perspective is their reality. All you can do, even though in this anger stage, you know what has happened to you in the business is unjust and unfair. All you can do is show up as the best version of yourself and with your leadership team, be so overcommitted to the success of your team members that it clouds out any other forms of influence, even if that influence is super negative and inappropriate. Then you move into this stage of bitterness. You go from hurt to anger to this sense of bitterness where you feel like you've really taken it up the assets. You feel like you can't really disclose the details to your team and even clients. You know, it was recommended to our salon to send out an email to the clients saying, we are so sorry to all of you that one of our former team members have downloaded your information and added it to any other platform that it's not what you opted in for and agreed to here at Be Inspired Salon. And we want you to know that this was never allowed or accepted by us. In fact, we have parameters in place where there is a non-disclosure of your private information. This was not acceptable. It was not right. And we want you to know we are putting every step in place to make sure this does not happen again. And then go on to share, hey, take our short matchmaking survey to see your top 3 stylists that are still here at your beloved location who are actually a great fit for you, who are honest and of integrity. We did a little bit of that. We did a step of that, which was the matchmaking. You really have to, in the stage of bitterness, compartmentalize what has happened and decide how you want to mitigate your risks in the future. I know in your heart, as good as you are, as loving as you are, that you're going to have these feelings of how do I get retribution? And if you're like me, you're like, how do I keep it Christian? Because at the end of the day, some of you might call this karma. I say you reap what you sow. The pride of a former employee, all of former employees, who exit unethically, and you've had this happen, the pride that they have is going to eventually catch up. They will experience things. Interestingly, I've seen this come full circle. Years ago during COVID, I had a 10-year team member who I offered shareholder privileges to, snuck around, exited, actually ended up taking another team member with them. I know some of you have been through this. It's painful because these team members eventually feel like family members, do they not? I mean, as much as you keep it as professional as possible, you do life every day. You sow into each other's lives. So that's a challenge. Fast forward 5 years later, one of their employees is trying to come work for your salon because they aren't busy. Culture's not great. There's not a lot happening to help them be successful professionally. Just stay the course, my friends, and you will see the first full circle come through. You can let go of bitterness and move into the next stage of pain and processing. This is more on the processing. Now you process things and you go into the stage of acceptance. Acceptance is where you decide you are above the actions of another. Your time and attention and energy is actually worth more than the time and attention it would take to teach somebody a lesson. Your mental health is worth more. And if we're going to be really honest, for those of you who I know are truly successful, who are showing up every single day, you have it all together. Your actual net worth is so massive that you aren't willing to take your focus and energy off of the people and projects that continue to grow you as a person, leader, your generational wealth, and your legacy. I want this for everybody. I want you to move into the acceptance stage and just remember you will see things eventually come full circle. And the best revenge is living well. Finally, once acceptance has taken place, you'll move into that final stage, which is peace. Peace is when you can finally talk about the experience you went through without literally having a physical or emotional response of any kind. You choose to remember the good times, and you see the wrongdoing as something that happened for you, not to you. So true. When you actually have the time and you can look at something in hindsight, do we not all agree that what happened in this situation happened for me, for us, for our business? It didn't happen to us, it happened for us. Terry McKee from Nuovo Salons, if you're listening, this is from you. He would always say, things don't happen to me, they happen for me. And we could all agree it's true. And we want to get to that peaceful place. And finally, it's like having this sense of forgiveness. Like forgiveness is an ongoing decision, and you may need help. I pray all the time, Lord, help me remember the good, help me not hold on, help me release bitterness. Like I can't do it on my own. Sometimes I need that help. And it could be an ongoing thing. It might take years. But once you've landed there, here's the thing, you've won. You've made it. Congratulations on being tough as you know what, because you're a boss. I'm inspired by you and I'm here to support you. I will love you forever. This is what you tell yourself. I will love you forever. I'll never hurt you. I'll never leave you. I'll never give up on you. My love message from me to you, right? So to recap, you're going to go through hurt, anger, bitterness, acceptance, and finally peace. And peace is a choice and a process, and it sometimes will take time, but it's worth it. For those of you listening, you're like, man, I feel like I probably should have an employee agreement in place, but prior to this, it was a non-compete. It's like you can't go open your own thing within, 5 miles of here. And if that goes away, here's the thing, I don't care. Actually, that's the least I care about. If you go open something close by, it does not even shake me because you will never, ever, ever be able to compete with us. Let me just say that again. You will never, ever, ever be able to compete with us. We're too big. We're too good. We have too much going for us. I've seen it before. People can't keep up with us. They never will. Our ideas are better. We have bigger benefits. We have the most positive environment, culture, and education there is. And here's the thing, and I was talking with my salon leaders, the one thing that really bonds most of our former team members who've left unethically or unexpectedly without that respect, right? So they're kind of in their own group. The one thing that bonds them is the pride they have that they're trying to consistently convince themselves and others that they have it better now, but they know deep down they don't. They will never make financially what they made with us. And part of me is like, man, is this prideful? Should I even be thinking of it? Is this all ego that's coming out of me right now? It's not, it's truth. And I'm not going to linger on it because I have way too many people still at that business who need a leader, who need guidance, who need help. And here's what's amazing. I have a stylist who probably one of the shyest people, would cry if a challenging guest or consultation, came up. Was so timid, never wanted to ask for a sale or rebooking or retail, never. In only 6 months, this stylist because of our influence, environment, and education, hit 17% retail. Some of us are like, I wish my whole team could hit 10%. I wish we could, we just talked about retail last week. If retail is an area of struggle for you, go and listen to last week's episode where we feature a salon owner who did 44% retail to service across the board, the whole across the board. It's crazy. But I have a level one, 6 months into her career who hit 17% retail. My expectation at a level one is 16%. I'm like, you know what? You're moving into commission. Congratulations. That's going to be life changing for this stylist. But she went out of her way to text me and say how thankful she was for our salon and the environment she's in and all that we're offering her. I had given her an opportunity to actually stand and present in front of the entire team. This was totally impromptu. She didn't know I was going to ask her to do this. And she did a consultation. She showed us what she would do and how she would recommend products. I wanted her to just show us. And she didn't even say, oh, I don't want to. She was like, awesome. Yeah. She got up, she did it. I am so proud of her. So when she texted me, thank you, and just had that heart of gratefulness, I texted her back and say, it's not about what you're doing now, all that you've accomplished, your skills, how your performance is awesome. That's great. But look at who you've become. Not what you can do, but look at who you've become. That's why I do what I do. And I'll keep doing it over and over and over again. And we are going to grow amazing professionals up in this industry. And I know that's your heart too. You are listening because you have that heart and you are going to be willing to be the one who goes through these hard, challenging times, who processes the pain of people who exit unethically or unexpectedly. You're going to be the one who has the grit to handle it, the perseverance to handle it. You're going to say all day, every day, it's part of the process. It's part of what I do. I signed up for that. Because those moments with team members like that, where they rise to a new level and they become somebody totally different than they were when they started, that's why we do what we do. And it's what keeps us going. So don't give up. And I have a special gift for you today. My gift to you is an example of an employee agreement. You are freaking welcome. Yes. Go to the link in our show notes and go and get this downloadable. Now, an example, and I have to just say as a disclaimer, this is not our legal document that you can use. It's an example. You still need to consult your own business attorney, especially in your state, because every state is different. Okay? But that's my gift to you. Thanks for being with me today, everybody. Until next time, have an awesome day and stay strong.